Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to get up and running with Robot Web Services and a ABB virtual controller. And the objective is to jog the robot via Robot Web Services. In this video I'm not going to use like PC SDK or Visual Studio. So this will be a guide how you can use Robot Web Services with C URLs, which you can find in the documentation. If you go to Developer Center, Robot Web Services, then you have two manuals here, and these are the manuals, and often or almost always you can find a C URL which you can send. And to send this URL, which is a REST API request to the controller, I will show you how to use Postman to your advantage. So Postman is a free software which is available via postman.com/downloads. If you install it, then this is the view you get, and you just press import, and you can just go and grab that URL that you want to test, and then you paste it like so. You make sure that Digest has two dashes in front of it, and also make sure that the IP address to your controller is correct. If you are hosting it locally, then it's localhost. And if it's on port 80, then you don't have to add a specific port. But in my case, I'm hosting actually the VC is listening on port 8881. So therefore I have to change it, and also make sure that the request is sent with HTTP and not HTTPS. And we continue, import, and so you have the request here, and if we send it, we get a response. Access denied, login required. Great. Something else you can look at here is the body of the request, how it is sent, in like which form, and also you have to have correct headers and correct authorization. So we see here access denied, login required, but we are sending username, the standard username and password to the controller. Still it says something is wrong. It's because we need to change the basic type, the type of authorization from Basic Auth to Digest Auth, and you can find information about this here. First page in the manual, Digest, and you can read. It uses Digest as a default authentication method. So as soon as we change that, we send it again, and then we get another error, bad request, and we can try to solve it by adding headers, correct headers. So if we go into, I've created these previously, and I know that they work, so I can just steal the correct configured headers and move them over to the non-working request. I will put these headers in the video description and probably also in the forum post. Okay, when we added the headers, we tried to send it again, and it's still a bad request. Let's have a look. We do have the flex pendant up. Okay, the reason why we're getting this error is because the controller is in automatic mode, and we are trying to request a manual mode permission, which won't work. So let's see if we can log in as a local user instead. We take this one, and in the body, you see the URL here, and you can also find this URL if we go to user service, login as a local user, and basically copy this line. And also something important about local user is that if you want to log in as this user, you have to press and release the enable button within 5 seconds. And we do this on the flex pendant. So we go back to Postman, we send it, and then we press enable a bunch of times until it's happy. We get a 200 response, which is a good response. This means that we have logged into the controller as a local user. Then, as I'm basically trying to control the robot remotely, jog the robot remotely now. So the first thing I need to do is log in as a local user. Next, I need to request mastership. 204, no content. Good. This is a good response. As long as we are not getting like 404 or 415 or a bunch of these errors which you can read about in error response. For example, yeah, forbidden, bad request, conflict. The 200 responses are good. Okay, and then we have to make sure that the robot is in manual mode in order to be able to jog the axis. Then we enable the motors. So manual mode, motors on. Then we can go back to the Robot Studio. And then we can see if it works. Close this one. What happened to my jog axis post? All right, and we send it, and you can see that axis 1 is moving. If we look at the request, we see that axis 1 has a value here other than 0, and so we are able to jog the robot via Robot Web Services with the REST API requests. Something to note is that the headers here are important, but not for all requests. For example, this requesting of RMMP, if you send it, it accepts it in with correct headers. But if you remove the headers and you send it, then you get a 415 unsupported media type response. But I think that if you, for example, request the request mastership request, if you remove the headers from that request, then oh, okay, so it doesn't work either. You have to have you have to have the headers in order for the REST API call to be accepted by the controller. Well, yeah, basically that's it. So you go to the manual, you find what you need to do, you find the C URL, you copy it, paste it into Postman, make sure the headers are correct. Then you can modify the request as you wish, go into body and change the values as it suits your needs. Make sure that authorization is on Digest Auth and with these credentials, default user and robotics. And also if you want to try get requests or yeah, just whatever you need is available here. Yeah, I think that covers most of it. If you have any questions or if you feel that I missed something, please let me know in the comments or in the forums. Thanks for your attention. Bye bye.